Hey guys, welcome to 6 2 inches vlog. In today's lecture, we are going to study about motivation theories. This lecture is divided into two parts, and this is the lecture 1 of motivation theories. In lecture 2, we will continue the further theories. Let's start. Okay, so first, what is motivation? Like, what is making you to watch this video right now? It might be because you want to crack some entrance exam, or it might be because you're just a curious learner, like you want to learn some new concepts. So motivation can be divided into like intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation means like it comes from within. You are not after some external rewards, like you're studying not because you want to gain good marks, but because you want to learn, because it's your passion. That's intrinsic motivation. But extrinsic motivation is something which is dependent on external rewards. For example, you are studying because you want to gain good marks and good rewards or good job. So that is extrinsic motivation. So let's look at the definition of motivation. Motivation can be defined as the desires, needs, and interests that arouse or activate an organism and direct it towards a specific goal. Okay? So, for example, if you're hungry, you will cook food. And if food isn't available at home, or if you can't cook, then obviously you will try to order it online, or you will just cook or try to cook. And if you want to crack some exam seriously, then you will study hard rather than studying casually. If you did not take the exam seriously, then obviously you would not be studying seriously. So this is an example of like intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. And intrinsic, for example, taking study seriously, so obvious it's intrinsic. And extrinsic is something studying for the good grades. Okay. We are going to learn four theories, which is instinct theory, second is stripe theory, third is arousal theory, and fourth is incentive theory. Okay, so before explaining what instinct means, I want you to do this exercise. Can you try to hold your breath for nose, like just hold it with your fingers, don't inhale any oxygen, and try to hold it for at least 7 or 5 seconds. Can you do that? Like not inhale oxygen? No, like I mean, suddenly you will, the reflex action will take place and you will start inhaling if you try to not inhale oxygen for a long time. So it is your instinct or instinct to live, like we have that instinct. So instinct is something which is genetically predetermined disposition in us to behave in a particular way when confronted with certain stimuli. For example, like if you are facing any kind of danger which is threatening your life, then obviously your fight or flight response will be activated, and your instinct, your living instinct will kick in. So that is what instinct means. Okay, so example is, if a squirrel finds a nut, then it will bury the nut for the future consumption. So no prior learning is needed for instinct. Like it's not like someone taught you to live or to like not run away if you face any kind of danger. So it's like it's determined or disposition in your genes. It's in your body. It's like natural. Okay, so the ethologists revised the instinct theories in 1930s, and they defined the term called fixed action pattern. So what is fixed action pattern now? It is an unlearned behavior that is universal to a particular species and that is elicited or released in the presence of naturally occurring events known as sign stimuli. Okay, so here is an example. For example, there is a species of fish known as a three-spined stickleback. This experiment was given by Nicholas Tinbergen. So in this experiment, he observed that this three-spined stickleback gets shows the aggressive behavior whenever that species sees any fish of having red colored on the fish body. Okay, so that is the signal stimuli, sign stimuli, I mean, which is provoking some kind of behavior in this stickleback species. So the experiment was done. Like there were two fishes. One fish had this red blot on it, and the second fish did not have any red blot on it. So the Nicholas observed that this three-spined fish species were more like aggressive and showed aggressive behavior towards fish who had the red blot on it, which is known as a sign stimuli. So this is called as fixed action pattern. Okay, so second theory which we are going to learn is drive theory given by Clark Hull. So also try to memorize the names of psychologists who have given the names or who discovered this theory. So for memorizing the name of Clark Hull for drive theory, what I did was I imagined, the Hulk, right? The green Hulk. So I imagined Hulk as a driver. So you can come up with any kind of uh, shortcuts or abbreviations or anything which can help you to memorize the name. So this is the way I memorized it. Maybe it can help you. So the type theory is given by Clark Hull, and it is biologically based theory of motivation. It involves the concept of drive and drive reduction. According to Clark Hull and his students, organisms are motivated to eliminate or reduce unpleasant bodily tension. For example, if you don't eat for 2 days, then obviously you will feel hunger. Like you will feel hungry and you will try to reduce the bodily tension by eating some food. Or the concept of homeostasis is also based on the drive theory. For example, there is a fixed temperature of a body which should not extend or go down. So whenever there is a fluctuation in our body's uh, internal state, then our body tries to maintain it in a constant way. So it is known as homeostasis. That is, it is trying to reduce the drive. So this is called as drive theory, and there is one criticism which we will be seeing the answers for it in the second lecture. The criticism is that we still sometimes eat even if we are not hungry, right? So what could be the reason? Like why do we eat when we are not hungry, or why do we sleep when we don't want to sleep? So this is the criticism that drive theory received. So let's see the next theory for now. The third theory is arousal theory. According to this theory, like we seem to desire to increase arousal or tension in our day-to-day lives. For example, some people love to watch horror movies, some people love, like adventurous rides or roller coaster rides. There are also some times when we seek to decrease arousal. So in short, we prefer to have optimal level of arousal, which is neither too high nor too low. Psychologists have suggested a relationship between level of arousal and degree of efficiency in performing certain tasks. Example, individual performing any task just after waking up from sleep is likely to lack attention at the task. Okay. Okay, so there is another example or a law which you can call. It's important from exams perspective. It was asked in MCQs. So the name of this law is Yerkes-Dodson Law. So I told you, according to arousal theory, there is a link between your performance and your arousal level. For example, if you are like very aroused, very excited, then the chances of you performing better in the examination decreases because you are so aroused that you will lack concentration or due to the over excitement, or you may do silly mistakes in the examination. Okay, or if you are like not at all aroused, if you are then you will start feeling anxious, and due to anxiety you won't be able to give your best performance. Just leave about like taking the right answers or solving the right answers, you won't even remember what you have learned. So this is what arousal theory says, that you need optimal level. Optimal level means you know the difference between stress, right? The stress are of two types, which is stress, which is the healthy stress we say, for performance, which is helpful for us in giving our best performance. And then there is this distress or stress which can harm your body or your mind. So optimal level means the medium level. It's neither too high nor too low level of arousal. So an optimal level of stress can help you focus on the test and remember the information that you have studied, or too much anxiety can impair your ability to concentrate. Okay, so the next theory which we are going to learn is incentive theory. So what is incentive? When you say your boss has given you some incentive, right? It means like you're getting some reward. So incentive means external goals or reward. So basically incentive theory, it means that it emphasizes on that your performance or your action is motivated by external goals or incentives. And this theory examines the external stimuli in the environment that pull the organism in certain directions. Unpleasant or aversive goal repels the organism from performing that task. For example, if you know that if you cross the signal and then you are going to charge a fine from the cops, so obviously you will follow the rules strictly, you won't try to break the signal. So this is repelling you from performing the task because the consequence is unpleasant and you are aware of it. So your action is based on the external goals or external consequences. So this theory focuses on external factors or environment which makes the person to initiate or inhibit their actions. Okay, so for today we have done this theories, and I'm going to do the concept check MCQs as usual. And in next lecture we will be studying further motivation theories and how it is linked to hunger, obesity, sex and attraction, love and relationships. Okay, so for now try to answer the following question: which of the following theory is based on intrinsic motivation? The options are A. Arousal theory, B. Drive theory, C. Incentive theory, or D. A and B only. So try to answer it by yourself, pause the video, then check the answer. Okay, so the correct answer is A and B only. So remember, I told you about intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. I have explained you the difference between the both. So the thing is that arousal theory, instinct theory, and drive theory, this all are considering intrinsic factors, internal factors, whereas the incentive theory is considering environment and external rewards or consequences. Hence, this kind of questions can be asked in the examination. So, do clear your basic concepts. Okay, so the second question is, which theory of motivation proposes that humans seek homeostasis and avoid disequilibrium? The options are A. Goal theory, B. Arousal theory, C. Drive theory, D. Incentive theory. Pause the video, try to answer it by yourself, then go to the next slide and check the answer. Okay, so the correct answer is C, option C, which is drive theory. And as I've told you, the drive theory tries to reduce the drive, and homeostasis, this concept is completely based on this theory. So hope you got both of the questions correct, and let's learn further theories in the next lecture. Okay, so thanks for watching. Do subscribe and share the video with your friends, and stay tuned for more upcoming conceptual videos related to NET, JRF, set psychology, and for MCQs, which will be uploaded once a week based on the all the lectures which I will be sharing from Monday to Saturday. So do go through the videos. Thank you.